On average, it costs 10% of the gross sale of your home to list with a real estate agent. For sale by owners, might have a point. Welcome back. My name is AlexBeltran. I talk real estate. Before anybody yells at me, realtors, understand where I'm coming from, okay? I am not afraid to pay top dollar for good advice and proper guidance. If Warren Buffett were to offer me all of his financial knowledge, I would pay whatever it took to do so. So know that when I say that for sale by owners have a point, it's getting pretty hard to justify a realtor's price. And I'm a realtor myself. Look, realtors are always trying to convince the general public that the only way to sell their house is through a realtor. And I know from experience that that isn't true. In fact, that is brilliant marketing from the National Association of Realtors. So as much as it hurts even me as a realtor, sellers, you do not have to use a realtor to sell your home. Don't let the real estate industry guilt trip you into thinking that way. The most important number that any seller should be interested in is the net. All right. If you notice, with all the fancy marketing, realtors tend to really focus on the gross sale price. This is absolutely nothing new. Real estate agents make dumb memes about this all the time. Seller sells house for $200,000. Could have listed with me and gotten $220,000. If you don't believe me, go onto the Instagram page called The Broke Agent. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. If that's how realtors are in public, imagine what they're like in private. Once you math the math, a lot of the times the net number is usually very similar. If you know the ins and outs of real estate, know how to negotiate, have a little bit of tax savvy, a lot of the times your net can actually be higher than if you would have listed with a real estate agent. Fun fact, a lot of real estate agents don't know every aspect of real estate. Just saying. And look, at the end of the day, the only people that the gross sales price benefits is the real estate industry as a whole, because it gives them the ammunition and the marketing to be able to keep saying that you get a higher price if you hire a realtor, especially right now that realtors are scrambling just to justify their exorbitant fees. Realtors know that they're only a few court cases away from losing their cushy spot on the real estate totem pole. Not good. And it's all the National Association of Realtors' fault. All right, look, let's put everything out in the open. Realtors are just service providers. That's it. There are, a small minority of realtors that are very, very proactive and are very good realtors, and I highly recommend you list with them. I personally have no beef with them. However, the vast majority of realtors, what they do is that they get your house, put it on the MLS, and sit in their office and do nothing until open house Sunday. Actually, you know what? Okay, I'm being a little too harsh there. Correction. They get your house, they put it on the MLS, pretend to do stuff throughout the week until open house Sunday. Even when they get an offer, a lot of the times they have no idea what they're looking at. They get the offer, they walk over to the manager or the assistant manager's office, and they say, "What does this mean?" And they try to break it down for them, and then they get on the phone with you and half-ass explain it to you. Now, the proactive ones, they're very different. They know what they're doing. They're very skilled. And if you're going to use a realtor, make sure that they are the top producing realtors, okay? And like I said, the vast majority of non-top producing real estate agents, I'm pretty sure they don't even know what a subject to existing loan is. That's if the broker even allows them to negotiate that type of contract. Which is why real estate investors like myself wait for properties to expire before we swoop in with the real offers. But that's besides the point. And look, to be clear, I'm not saying not to list with a realtor, okay? Like I said, top producers and good vigilant agents are a godsend. They take the majority of the work off your plate. They put out fires. It's great. However, with that comes expensive fees, and it's up to you to realize if those fees are for you or not, which is why you should scrutinize your realtor and hold them accountable. If they said that they were going to call you every Friday with an update, they better be calling you every Friday with an update, even if it's bad news. All right, look, Markets, sometimes they don't move as quickly as we want them to, but they have to keep their word. You have to make sure to lean into them and remind them how perky they were when they were asking for your listing in the first place. Like I said earlier, real estate markets change, and with that change comes what realtors are now trying to figure out how to advertise: short sales. Yeah, they're making a bit of a comeback. The real estate industry right now is trying to figure out how to market short sales. While short sales prevent you from going bankrupt, I don't know if going through a short sale is necessarily any better. In fact, it's like a false sense of security because you still get dinged for 7 years on your credit report. You still may have to cut a check at the end of the transaction. You get to, pay taxes on what would have been your equity. And probably the worst part about a short sale, everybody gets paid except you. It's like the private equity version of selling a house. And look, if it's looking like you have to cut a check at the end of escrow, you might want to talk to a real estate investor first. There are a lot of good real estate investors out there that will absolutely work with you. So for sale by owners, how do you do that? And I think the real question you should be asking is who, not how. The very first step, go get an escrow and title company. A good escrow and title company is a game changer. Don't be afraid to ask them questions. They literally see every type of real estate transaction: retail, off-market, investment property, you name it, they've probably seen it. They have so many resources. They have so many contacts. In fact, if you're looking for a good investor to talk to, chances are if they're a good title and escrow company, they're working with good investors as well. Don't be afraid to ask for a couple names and numbers. The reason why you don't hear of title and escrow companies all that often is because, well, one, they suck at advertising, and two, they don't want to step on the toes of the National Association of Realtors. Complete side note, even though I am a realtor, I firmly believe that the National Association of Realtors should end its monopolistic tactics because they are the unnecessary gatekeepers, ironically making real estate more unattainable to the average person. Realtors don't want to hear that, but it's becoming very evident that the National Association of Realtors isn't going to be the gatekeeper anymore. Anyway, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, so let's get back to the for sale by owner thing. Now, if you're part of the 30% of Americans that have no mortgage on your property, i.e. free and clear, then consider looking into seller financing and how that can work to your advantage. Now, I am no CPA. I'm not smart enough to be a CPA. So make sure you run this through your CPA before you go through with this. But there may be lots of tax advantages for you as a seller to sell through seller financing. Worth taking a good look. On the flip side of that, if you are a homeowner with a mortgage on your property that just so happens to have a low interest rate, you might want to look into subject to existing loan and how that can benefit you. Worth taking a look. Step 2, and probably the hardest part for all for sale by owners, the marketing, baby, because there are so many scenarios. If you have a house that is completely torn up and the only people that are probably going to buy is a wholesaler or an investor, then at least tidy the place up. If you have like an average home, clean it up. Put in a fresh new coat of neutral paint. Keyword there, neutral. You'd be surprised how many people right now, for some weird reason, are thinking that TARDIS blue is neutral. It's not. TARDIS blue only looks good on the TARDIS. Shout out Doctor Who fans. But don't use TARDIS blue on your home. It is not a neutral color. Stick with neutral colors. Once you tidy it up, clean it, take some nice photos. And if you're a luxury property, then you don't have any excuse for cutting corners. You better have high quality photos, very spick and span house. In fact, why aren't you using a realtor? Why aren't you using a realtor? And look, I know I'm kind of contradicting myself here, but luxury properties absolutely benefit from realtors. Once again, really good realtors, but there are fewer buyers for these types of luxury properties. A realtor would definitely be able to help you navigate that. All right, there you go. That's how you know that I'm being fair. I see both sides of every argument. And one last thing with this whole marketing thing, get a proper sign. You can actually go to Vistaprint and get like a proper vinyl sign, where you can clearly see the address of the house, maybe an arrow pointing to the general direction of the property. You'd be surprised how many times I drive past a for sale by owner side that looks like they're making an advertisement for ants. I have to pull over, I have to pull a UE. Get a proper sign. They're not that expensive. And now for the last major step is you want to syndicate your property. Go on Zillow, post it there. Facebook Marketplace, you'd be surprised how much business goes through Facebook Marketplace. Oh my God. A lot of the times, a lot of the buyers are being found through Facebook Marketplace. Phenomenal. Post it in your local, whatever your city's version of the real estate or buy, sell, trade. Look for the proper place, make sure to follow the rules and post it there, okay? And make sure to add the fact that you're open to seller financing or subject to deals. Helps to clarify. And you also remember when I told you to ask title if they have any real estate investors that would be interested in your property? Right now would be the perfect time to give them a call. And look, I don't know if I should tell you this, but you can actually go to the board of realtors, ask for the email list of all the realtors in your town and blast an email to all of them. I probably shouldn't have said that one, but if you're going to take that route, make sure that you follow marketing rules and make sure that they can actually opt out of receiving emails from you. So you have to do it through a CRM or a newsletter. Don't tell anyone I told you this. And now comes the showing of the property, which I don't know how many people need to hear. Apparently a lot, because this happens very often, but hide your valuables. In fact, take them out of the house entirely. Give them to your parents or a good friend. Have them hold on to all of your valuables in the meantime. You're gonna get them back, all right? Just get them out of your house because, strangers are coming in. Here's the part that loses a lot of people. You're gonna have to follow up with everybody. I know. You're gonna have to be very proactive. It's the only way to get an offer. You'd be surprised how many times, even as real estate agents, we get other agents saying, yeah, we're gonna send you an offer by the end of the day. No offer comes in. You have to pry it out of people. I know it sounds like it's much easier than that, but that's just the case. You have to hound people. Once they leave you their telephone number, whatever the case that may be, you have to hound them for an offer. Part of the business, baby. That's why sometimes it's best to just hire a realtor. Like I said, both sides. Realtors take a lot off your plate. This is one of the things where they take it off your plate, the follow-up process. Look, everybody hates the follow-up process, even sometimes us real estate agents. But it's the only way you're gonna get a proper offer. And once you've received your offer and you're willing to accept it, here's another secret that I probably shouldn't be telling you. Hire a transaction coordinator. All the realtors that are probably hate watching this right now are probably like, shut up! Don't tell them about transaction coordinators. And a good transaction coordinator will literally do all the heavy lifting for you. Literally all of the heavy lifting. They will get on the phone. They will set everything up with escrow. They make everything seem very seamless. And the best part about it, they cost anywhere between $100 to $500 per transaction, which is significantly less than the 5 to 7% that realtors are charging right now, which is a very small price to pay for a transaction coordinator, given all the work that they do for you. And look, want to know the truth? I use a transaction coordinator for every one of my real estate deals because, truth be told, I don't want to work that hard. Yeah, it's the truth. As soon as I get a deal accepted, here you go, transaction coordinator. Don't talk to me until close of escrow. Have a good day. Bye. Transaction coordinators are literally the only reason why deals close. And it's the reason why the real estate industry works as efficiently as it does, because realtors, we're scatterbrained. We're all over the place. Sorry, it's just the truth. And what's worse is that transaction coordinators are sometimes hard to find because brokerages tie them up to work exclusively within the brokerage. That's how important they are. They're the real heroes of the real estate world, and their flat fee is a very small price to pay for all the work that they do for you. Anyway, go through the escrow process, get your house sold. It's that simple. The only people that try to make it more complicated are realtors. Anyway, I hope that helped somebody. I will catch you next week. Peace. Shh.